Welcome to this episode of My Ramblings, Errors and Omissions. Um, when I got off the PDC internship, I'm a GS11. I was still relatively, inexperienced. I didn't do any, I think I did design work for 3 months while on the internship. I did some interesting projects, learned some interesting things. So now I'm a GS11. They've relocated us out to various remote sites, some out at North Island. Um, and I've done a few projects by now, I guess, but they're all sort of, I don't know, uh, you know, this, but this is about errors and omissions. There was this one project I was working on, and my camera's vibrating. Let me settle that down a little bit. There we go. And this particular project at one of these remote sites included a freight charge. And, oh, it's the first time I've done a project for there, and I'm not aware of this project. And this one was kind of a fire alarm project. I'd gotten the drawings and saw that, well, they had the conduit in place and stuff. So, well, reuse that, run some wire, add in the minor number of devices that needed, and we're good to go. So, um, we have to do specifications for it, the drawings for it, with all the notes and stuff, and we do an estimate for it. And it's the first project, didn't realize there was a freight charge that was supposed to be on it. But so this project goes, I forgotten about it because I'm moving on to the next things we're going to do. And no, I'm not sure of the timeline. People were saying, oh, they want to access your insurance. They're trying to use your insurance. I just took it as a warning that what they want me to voluntarily say or to admit to something that I didn't do so that they could use my insurance to help pay for a project or something. And then somewhere, I'm not sure of the exact timeline, people are coming and telling me, oh, by the way, there should have been a freight charge on that project. They have a special run that goes out there. There's a fixed freight charge for that. And I'm sitting here and well, that doesn't make sense. This organization, Public Works, knows about that freight charge, and how does this project get through and sent over to the command that needed the project with nobody bothering to adjust the budget costs for that project? So is it my personality? Is it they don't like engineers? Because most of the people there, I think there was about 6 to 8 architects and engineers, and everybody else was non-degreed positions. That doesn't mean they didn't have a degree. I don't know. It's just like, oh, we got you. Now you're going to have to use your insurance. Now you're going to have to pay this. And it's kind of like, well, so these guys think they're hurting me, but really they're hurting the command that requested that project from the organization I work for, the Public Works Center, and oh, they would have to pay it, you know, because that's a normal thing that has to be paid, to get the products that the contractor needs to do his work, know, and it doesn't. It hurts them budgetary wise because they don't. Perhaps they don't know to account for it. I don't know. Officers I think rotated every 2 years or so. So it might have been somebody new there and hadn't realized that they were going to have that expense. And, wait, so you think by letting this go through without doing your jobs, without doing a responsible thing, and said, okay, well, we know that there's corporate knowledge that that freight charge has to be on there. But these guys are thinking that, well, we get to take this out of his pocket. I don't know what the other command thought or knows, but um, it's but maybe trying to, you know, cut their nose off to spite my face. In other words, we can get this guy looking like, he owes some money or something. Which no, that's just not how it works. Um, but in reality, what they're doing is they're dropping the ball. They're not really doing their jobs. Uh, Public Works knows that is a customary thing that they have to account for. Why it gets to another command without, you know, it's like it's kind of bewildering. I mean, what do they think this stuff is all about? Anyway, this kind of goes back to an earlier video. Um, you know, I mean, anytime I had another project that went out that way, you include the freight charge on it. But how, with all this corporate knowledge, with this organization knowing, they provide services and contracts to all these bases in San Diego County. They're gonna knowingly not inform the command that that some other command charges to freight the stuff to a place. Kind of bewildering. Um, they thought that as a government employee doing the job that I'm due, and them guys, by ignoring something that they know needs to be there, that I'm gonna, that they can come to me and demand payment for my insurance. I'm sure the people closer to the top, the contracting officers and stuff, they realize, but so maybe it's just a bunch of younger guys that just got, or not a bunch of younger guys, lower level guys that aren't GS-12s or don't have like authorized contracting responsibility. Just heard a little bit about it, and they're running around, saying what they think. It's just perhaps wrong. Um, and so I don't know. We never really hear back on any of this stuff. Construction people take care of the construction, they administer it. Sometimes shop forces do the work, but it's like I'm sure the people up with who have more experience and more actual authority and responsibility realize that this should have been put in there. So I really don't know if that became a budgetary issue for these guys to scramble around because it wasn't included. But how PwC could let something that's known within the corporate knowledge of PwC to go to somebody and put them in a bad spot. It's, you know, what are people's motivations that they would do that? I'm not sure that's what happened. I just have a couple of guys that are 9s and 11s, that, planner estimators that are coming around telling me this. So I don't know what the real scoop was. I never really heard anything back about it. But um, that's why you have to earn your promotions. That's why promotions are based on merit. Merit is qualifications. Not not because you do volunteer fire work. I mean that's a good thing. A lot of employers like that and will that'll go a long ways to get you hired. But it's people running around telling me this. They want your insurance and stuff. That's they got a ways to go before they've kind of gotten the experience, I guess, to move up a level or two or to get into a position of leadership and responsibility. Anyway, errors and omissions. You may never hire an architect if he leaves something out, but just because he left it out doesn't mean that, that if it was something that you were going to have to pay for if he put it in there, you would still have to pay for it. Just because he left it out, that doesn't mean the architect pays for it. That was the errors and omissions way things work that was explained to me when I was a cooperative education student. So I would never intentionally commit an error or omission, and I'm not aware of any actually that I did. was rather diligent. I put in a lot of effort learning the NEC because I was realizing people aren't reviewing my work. And I was all worried that I was going to put together a drawing a project, and somebody would get hurt on it. So I spent countless, endless hours at the library trying to read up on NEC and building design. That's not something you learn at the university. So anyway, yeah, errors and omissions, negligence and stuff is a whole different thing. So I've never known of a situation within the public works that there was negligence. But errors and omissions. That's the topic. See you next time.